Good morning, English 1150 Net 41 students. I am so excited to meet you and begin our adventures in the next 12 weeks in short fiction. I hope you all received my first email that just welcomed you to the class and let you know that I will be opening up the materials for the week every Monday morning. So each Monday morning, check back, please, and you'll see a new units folder to begin. One other note in my email, I will mention that our due dates will be on a Wednesday, Friday schedule, and I'm going to, in this introductory video, detail just some basic information about our class, about the textbook, which is not required because all of our readings will be freely available through our Blackboard site, the different units, due dates, and grading guidelines for the class. The first thing I wanted to mention is to please review our class syllabus, which you can find right here in the left-hand menu under Welcome Video and Announcements. I begin our syllabus with a quote from Eudora Welty, a famous writer who explains that the first thing we see about a short story is its mystery. And in the best short stories, we return at the last to see mystery again. And what does she mean by mystery? I hope that's something we keep in mind in the coming weeks as we explore the short story genre. This course is about a study of selected short stories. We're going to read and discuss them to increase your knowledge and understanding and enjoyment of this particular literary form. There's no required textbook, as I mentioned earlier, but you must have a Google account, which you can set up for free. If you already have a Google account, you can feel free to use it for our course, but we will be using Google Slide Decks and Google Docs on a weekly basis for the activities in our class. Please become as familiar as possible as you can with our Blackboard site, especially since this class is asynchronous. For our convenience, all supplemental course content, including syllabi, assignments, readings, assessments, grades, and attendance are all accessible on this Blackboard site. So it's your job to familiarize yourself with it and let me know if you have any questions. Please note, if you ever need to contact me, I'm freely available through email and through Zoom office hours. Outside your class time, your COD email should be the primary way in which I can contact you. I will reply to your emails at the very most within 24 hours, but often sooner, though on weekends I do check email less frequently. You should check your COD email at least once each weekday during the semester because I will be sending announcements, updates, and replies and responses to the work that you've done so far. Emails don't need to be long, but please specify. I am teaching a few different classes. Treat them as a sort of a way to practice proper correspondence. Always put in the subject line which class you're coming from, your name, which class you're coming from, and include a salutation, hello, dear Professor Ott, a brief main message that's concise and clear, and then some sort of valediction, which is best wishes, regards, thank you, etc. to end the email. I will not open emails that just simply have an attachment to them, so please just make sure to familiarize yourself with this convention and we will have a great communication method, especially since we can't be talking face to face. At your leisure, please review the withdraw and complete policies. Also, review the netiquette policies. Any behavior, whether online or in person, that's not in keeping with the COD Student Code of Conduct will result in you being asked to leave the class. Of course, this is not going to be applicable to our class, and I know that we'll have great dialogues throughout the semester, but if you would like to review the Student Code of Conduct, it is available here, linked. There's an ADA notice to familiarize yourself with, followed by our short fiction 12-week calendar. Please note that I've kind of sectioned these off into groups of 4 weeks, and that you'll be taking an early term student feedback just to keep in mind as you're responding how things are going in the class for you. How's the class formatted? Are you accessing the readings and the materials and the assignments easily? And are there any ways that I can improve upon this particular user experience? Please note that I have a due dates calendar, the same calendar that appeared at the end of the syllabus, and that things are not self-paced, which means that you can't complete all the work of the class for 12 weeks in 1 week. In fact, I'm going to pace it such that every week I'm going to open up the next week's unit. And that's because a lot of our assignments are collaborative and engage with the group, the larger group in our class. And I think that works best, especially for reading and writing practices. You should also note that we are going to be on a Wednesday and Friday turn-in schedule. So if you need only the weekends to do your work, perhaps this section will not be conducive to your work ethic. But if you are able to complete your work by Wednesdays and Fridays because you set aside enough time during the week and that works well for you, I'm very excited that you are in this class and that you are able to function along that specific turn-in period. The reason being that allows you the weekends to have off and it allows me to catch up and send you grades and comments over that time span. So here you'll see that for week 1, we're going to begin with an introduction to short fiction. The first assignments are going to be due Wednesday of the week, and the second assignments and or most likely the replies for these assignments are due on Friday. Please click on Grading Guidelines to learn more about the 3 specific kinds of assignments you'll be expected to do each week. Best practices for online asynchronous learning show that students that become familiar with a specific kind of assignment and a specific expectation each week are more likely to succeed. And so I'm going to try to keep this class as consistent in what I'm asking you as possible, however, changing the content each week so that we can continue to grow as readers and writers. Because we complete a wide variety of assignments for our course, each will have its own set of guidelines. And so below you'll see that we have 3 things you'll be completing each week. One is terms and concepts, one's a reading collaboratively exercise, and the last one is posting a Google Site page to our discussion board within Blackboard. Terms and concepts will be 10 points a week. The reading collaboratively document, reading the short fiction, each week will be worth 45 points. And then your response to that reading is 45 points with a total of 1,200 points in the semester, or 100 points each week. For the terms and concepts assignment, I'm really excited to share with you a Google slide deck that you are able to edit and add to. So each week you will be adding 1 slide to a specific deck. So in those decks, I'll have Unit 1, and for this specific example for our Unit 1, I'll explain to you in the next video under Unit 1, will be you explaining basically your readerly habits and or whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to or viewing in terms of media. So just kind of sharing with us a brief reader profile just to kind of update us on anything that's exciting or new or things that you read or interest you. And so that slide deck, you'll add an extra slide to with your explanation. So students analyze and discuss themes and structural elements of short stories by contributing to the weekly terms and concepts slide deck. And each week the terms and concepts will change. One week we'll be thinking about themes. Another we'll be thinking about setting and character. So keep abreast of those changes. Each week you'll also have a close reading activity, and this is sort of the core of our class. You're going to develop a critical appreciation of short stories, and by doing so, you're going to comment weekly on a Google Doc reading. And so I've taken the time to transfer a lot of these readings that comply with copyright to a Google document, which we're going to use as, typically is used for composing essays or other writing projects. And we're actually going to be using it as a place where we can read collaboratively, how we can engage with texts online, but engage in a close, deep reading by commenting upon and replying to each other's responses and reactions to the text as we go. To get full points for this activity, exemplary replies are thoughtful, they're well articulated, and developed in depth. And I expect you to be reading the entire short story since we're reading only 1 short story each week. And I can tell the difference between a well-articulated and developed comment that responds to the essay in totality versus someone who's read maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs from the essay and just commented on those kind of out of context. And so please be aware that the sort of more broad generalizations will receive less points than the specific, well-articulated, and developed comments. Finally, you're going to have a discussion board post each week. So students are going to recognize the way short stories function as statements about life. Discussion boards are worth the following. Discussion board points exemplary posts and replies are thoughtful, well articulated, and developed in depth. And so of importance will be citing from the readings, from other class material, and from additional research and or from other classmates' posts. So I'm really interested in you being able to not only respond to the text, but to pull out textual evidence to support your answers. And as you'll see, these 3 specific activities throughout this course will reflect our 3 course objectives that are outlined in all English 1150 syllabi. Some other navigational features to notice are that I have an about me, a brief introduction to who I am, and sort of my teaching philosophy. I also have here a virtual office. Should we need to meet in person, which I would be happy to do, you'll simply click on Virtual Office to locate me and to talk to me at the specified time that we agree upon. Thank you so much for reviewing this welcome video, and I hope this gives you a nice orientation and sort of confidence to begin our class. To begin the first Unit 1, Week 1 of our class today, click on Units, Unit 1, Welcome to Short Fiction.